then you should already know that the persons that are sitting there have been sitting there illegal for at least 3 months. Okay, if he wants to write it, fine. I feel that the full board should sign the letter before it's sent to that committee. Mr. Chairman, would you please identify the members of the Election and Credentials Committee? Now, I would like to know, why haven't you met? I feel that we should support our project. I would like to know what Red James said a moment ago. I object to that. I don't believe that your motion will be in order. At this time, there's a motion on the floor, Mr. Roberson.
Do you object to the substance of it?
I'm not an activist. I'm a realist. Activists, they have a tendency to be very radical, very radical. I am what you would call a conservative radical liberal, you know, which is quite a lot of difference, because I don't believe in violent demonstrations. Activists do.
Thelma Washington is not the typical poor person in Dallas. Both by her own will and the approval of her peers, Thelma has become one of the principal advocates of poverty programs and of the poor in Dallas. A former welfare recipient, widowed mother of 8, and member of numerous boards and organizations, including Legal Services, the War on Poverty, and the city's Urban Rehabilitation Standards Board, Mrs. Washington qualifies as a full-time activist and lobbyist on behalf of her constituency. She literally cannot find time for work.
I still have, occasional child care bill because I'm very actively involved in community projects. I have been very unsuccessful in getting a job because the jobs that they have advertised, well, they're just not paying enough money. After you figure out approximately $80 per month for child care, and then you figure out transportation costs, which is now $1 a day, and then lunch, the cheapest you can get out is usually $1.50. Then figure this all up for a month. The difference between what I make in my unemployment benefit presently and what I would make on the job would amount to some $18 or a little bit more. So this is not feasible to me. Clerk typist, mostly, is what it is. And I don't like clerk typist work.
What kind of work do you do, Ms. Washington?
I have a secretarial training course, a skill, but I'm not working now. I'm unemployed.
Right, but when you do work, you're clerical.
Yes. I don't feel that 13 months in school should be wasted on clerk typist. I don't mind not liking the job if it's worth my while to go to and not like. But when I go to it and I don't like it and I'm only making $18 a month, that is pressure on your brain. That is cause for mental breakdown, and I can't afford a mental breakdown. I have too many children.
Clearly, by her own admission, Thelma Washington has chosen to be poor. She lives in the trash-strewn West Dallas public housing projects where she pays monthly rent of $9. Her last job, as Secretary of Dallas Community Action, the county's anti-poverty program, was terminated in the recent phase-down of that agency.
Well, let's see. Now, you're on unemployment right now.
Yes.
And that's maximum $63 a week.
Right.
What is your birthday?
Today, Mrs. Washington is living on unemployment checks of $63 a week that soon will be bolstered by food stamp benefits.
Tell you what I'm going to do. I'll certify you for the month of September only. Okay. As a matter of fact, it will be $81 for $200 worth of food stamps.
That's good.
Until 4 years ago, Thelma Washington had never heard of the federal poverty programs. That was the year her husband died, and she was left with the awesome responsibility of raising a large family.
The welfare had done something to my children. When they would go to school, like I say, I have some in high school, and when they would go to school, the children would say, you eat welfare beans, and you eat this, and you eat that, and it really hindered their learning. And you had knowledge previously of this election, right? But you were out of town. Very slack.
if you're going to be out of town and you are the chairman of the board as well as the chairman of the Election and Credentials Committee, I would suggest that from now on you select someone to serve in your stead.
As a matter of fact, I didn't even know about the workings of the welfare department until after I moved here and got more involved with the welfare rights organization. And from the welfare rights organization, I moved into community action, legal services, and from legal services, international clients. And with my involvement in all of these community projects, I was appointed to Urban Rehabilitation Board of Directors by the mayor, at which time I wanted placement on the Housing Authority Board of Directors.
For the sake of the board and the unity of the board, may I please ask at this time that you take the power of the chair, which you do have, and request the recall of the balloting and take a vote on his motion that is on the floor.
And if I do happen to find a job, well then I can probably just, let the unemployment benefits accumulate again and be ready to take off on it again.
The motion carries, and the procedure I will follow is this. I will